5 secrets to winning women's trust in your brand. It's become an industry imperative to redefine the way we market to women. But that is not a simple fix. Dealers shouldn't just add pink to the color palette, tack on female empowerment hashtag, or talk about gender equality like it had just started mattering. It's always mattered. We're only now choosing to address it. The problem is the majority of women, 80%, don't find brands trustworthy, and 61% say it's because they fail to live up to their promises. So tacking on a "I'm with her" message won't work unless you deliver proof to that promise. Here's a great example. When vehicle airbags were first introduced, they were heralded as the savior for reducing crash-related injuries and fatalities. But on release, hundreds of women and children were injured or worse when the airbags deployed. Why? Because male engineers designed them and didn't think to test them out on the female frame. No female-sized crash test dummies even existed. For a long time, the average American guy represented us all. This changed when federal law established new testing procedures, but up until then, the promise of the product was not entirely met. Dealers often fall into a similar trap, failing to deliver on what they pledge. Now that they're charged with activating programs that appeal to today's fearless women instead of yesterday's stereotype, it's even more important than ever to gain her trust and appear genuine. Here are the 5 guidelines to get it right. Number 1, commit to building a long-term relationship. Don't opt in and out of gender elements. Give women the same level of credibility or respect that you would to any audience and stick with it for the long haul. A great case is Chevrolet's commitment to youth sports, in particular young women. For example, the recent Goalkeepers Project partnered the brand with Women's Sports Foundation, famous icons, and mentors to provide tools, tips, and training for girls to set goals for their future and keep them. Number 2, design experiences that fit in and improve her life instead of disrupt it. A woman spends time with a brand that helps her balance time, money, and well-being. She's more likely to connect with the brand when an experience demonstrates that it and its products make her life useful. You have to be specific about knowing your audience too, her lifestyle, her struggles, and address all of those in brand activations. And better yet, make sure you have someone that is representative of her working through the execution. Her insights are invaluable. Number 3, make an impact with emotion. Maya Angelou, one of the greatest female role models, once said, "People will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel." The relationship customers with brands is far more emotional than it has been in the past. It's no longer the brand dictating the terms, it's the community. The community has an emotional incentive to share what the brand has produced, which generally translates to a recognition of a similar mindset and philosophy. Any activation has to strike an emotional chord for it to resonate. Last year's Fearless Girl, the simple statuette erected on Wall Street facing the infamous charging bull, did just that. No words necessary. Number 4, storytelling is everything. Women want to support brands that share their attitudes on life. Consumers want to be able to get themselves into the story of the brand. Stories tie back to the brand's philosophy, which is then shared with their customers. How consumers talk about it afterwards is at the heart of a campaign's success. CoverGirl's Rantin' and Ravin' event did just this. The brand's hashtag Girls Can initiative helps women and girls succeed in areas where they're currently underrepresented, including sports. To deliver on its promise, the brand cast, produced, and broadcast the first all-female football game in pre-show history outside the Baltimore Ravens NFL stadium, and people talked about it, both good and bad. That conversation means you're doing something right. Number 5, trust, and more trust. Women value intimate relationships. She has to feel that the brand shares her belief, and if she's going to give it a moment of her time, She needs to trust it in order to develop a relationship, especially a long-term one. It's this narrative that fuels many successful brands. As brand stewards, it's our job to champion experiences that provide an impactful and inspiring connection between brands and the women that matter most to them. If we are thoughtful in how we design our marketing campaigns, we can create a longer and stronger relationship with the consumer. In the end, we have to deliver on what we pledge, or we end up with another crash test dummy that doesn't live up to its promise. At Cars Her Way, we are committed to helping our dealer partners create a win-win for both the consumer and the dealership.